And we're back. Welcome to another episode. And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing and Sales and Relationships for successful small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we help you sell what you make. I am your host, best-selling author Sadon Long, and we're one day closer to Christmas. Actually, 92 days closer to Christmas. And during the Christmas holidays, it is hard to get motivated to do the things that you need to do. And two, it is hard to stay motivated. Now, one of the reasons it's really hard to stay motivated is because, number one, you get tired. Number two, you lose focus on your goals. So if you don't know if you're winning or losing, if you don't know if what you're doing is having an effect on your bottom line, and you can't really feel it, sometimes you think you're not making any progress, and you slow down, not realizing that you are very close to achieving the thing that you always wanted to achieve, which is becoming a very successful business owner who can hire other people to run the business while they go run the world. So again, that's where we are right now. We're 92 days in. We're going to talk about being motivated, staying motivated, and how we do it today. Because again, you got to be motivated to get up every day and do it. And part of getting motivated to do it is understanding what you need to be doing. So today we're going to talk about the only two things. We're going to simplify it, make it easy. The only two things that entrepreneurs need to be worried about right now. Just two things. What are the two things that we need to be worried about right now? Whatever your primary objective is and your worst nightmare. The only two things you need to be worried about is your primary objective and your worst nightmare. Okay, so let's get started. Your primary objective as a business owner. What is your primary objective as a business owner? Your primary objective as a business owner is to stay in business. What do I mean? I mean that your goal is to stay in business, to make payroll, keep lights on, be able to buy inventory, be able to pay yourself, stay in business, because the majority of businesses fail within the first 5 years, like 80 to 90% of them, because they run out of money. Okay. So the first goal and the number one goal, day in, day out, is to stay in business. One of the things when I worked in education that I always told people is that I was the president of Keep the Lights On committee. Because they always wanted to know, why are you so focused on doing your job? Because that's how we keep the lights on. If we don't roll people, we don't re-enroll people, then we don't get paid. If we don't get paid, the school don't get paid, then the school closes. So, in other words, if we do our jobs, our lights stay on. Both here in the building and at home. Now, I know for a lot of you at home, you think I'm trying to sell you something. But no, I just want to become the president of the Keep Your Lights On committee. I want to use my unique gift to turn ideas into income. I want to use my valuable experience with actually sending out the emails, with actually creating the marketing plans, with actually coaching, developing, and training people who went on to become millionaires. Plus the experience that I've had working with millionaires, working with CEOs, working in companies where people have been very successful as entrepreneurs. So I want to share that with you. I don't want to try to sell you something. I want you to take everything that I have, apply it to your business so you can keep your lights on. So again, primary goal is to stay in business. Okay, well, now that we know what our primary goal is, the question is, how do we stay in business? Leads and sales. Those are the first two things. We need people that we can talk to who are already 75% sold. Okay, well, what do I mean when I say 75% sold? 75% sold means that A, they know they have a problem. B, they've decided to do something about the problem in the very near future. Not someday, not down the road, but in the very near future. And then the third thing is they've actually put together an idea of how much they're willing to spend to fix the problem. that in their mind, they've decided they're going to use a solution to fix the problem that costs money. I'm going to explain that part to you real quick. See, people make decisions on solving problems, but they don't always make decisions to spend money to solve the problem. Sometimes they're looking for a home remedy. Sometimes they're going to call a friend and try to get some advice. Sometimes they're just going to ignore it and hope it goes away. But you need customers who decided, hey, I'm going to get a coach. I'm going to get a trainer. I'm going to get a marketing person. I'm going to get a landscaper. Somebody who's decided that whatever problem they have requires some help. We sit all the time with people who should be going to the doctor. Instead, they're online trying to doctor themselves, trying to prescribe themselves, trying to medicate themselves with things that they hope will solve the problem. So again, you have to figure out how to get people who know they got a problem. So when they're watching the videos, they're going, oh yeah, that's me. That sounds like me. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going through. 2, have decided to do something about the problem in the very near future, because not everybody decides on the same day, obviously. But at some point, they need to know, hey, man, next couple of weeks, I'm going to hire a trainer. Next couple of weeks, I'm going to get in the gym. Probably this Friday when I get paid. Those kinds of conversations. Because it's great when you have a conversation. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you leave it in the comments. It is great to have a conversation with somebody who says, I'm going to wire you the money today. Who says that the money is going to be in your accounts by this day. Who says, hey, man, I already budgeted the money. I got it. I'm going to drop it off tomorrow. That's what you want as a business owner, right? Somebody who has agreed to your terms. So your primary goal needs to be to get in front of people who have decided that they got a problem, that they want to do something about the problem in the very near future, and they want to spend some money to hire a person to do it. That they don't want to try to make the cake themselves, that they want to hire a baker or to go to a bakery. Somebody who's decided they don't want to try to, talk to their mama again, see if their mama keep the baby, that they actually want to go to a nursery, to a daycare. So you need those 3 things. So you're like, well, how do I know if they know they have a problem? You ask. Are you someone who's interested in losing weight? Whether it be in the form of an email, whether it be in the form of a text message, whether it be in the form of creating some content and, putting it on a billboard or putting it on a flyer or shooting some live videos or shooting some tape videos. You simply ask, are you interested in solving this problem? If so, click the button. If so, watch the video. If so, call us at. It's that simple. Don't try to make it complicated. Just ask them. Because if they're not thinking about losing weight, why do you need them to call you? So that goes back to that whole thing, that people try to sell you that their business is for everybody. Your business is not for everybody. Your business is for whomever has a problem that you can solve. Because everybody doesn't have the problem that you solve. Everybody doesn't eat steaks. So a steakhouse can't be for everybody. Everybody doesn't smoke. So a cigar lounge can't be for everybody. Everybody doesn't like to drink. So a bar can't be for everybody. Some people don't like sweatshirts. They like dress clothes. So your hoodie and t-shirt business can't be for everybody. Because there's always going to be 10 to 15% of people who care absolutely nothing about what you do. Now, there's also going to be maybe 5 to 15% who absolutely love what you do or love what people like you do. Okay. But those people are not the same. The people who don't care, don't know, don't want to know, ain't watching the video, ain't opening the email, not doing any of that. So if you're spending time trying to get them, you're kind of wasting your time, right? You're kind of wasting your time getting a vegan to come to your steakhouse. So you need to know, first and foremost, again, the way we know if this is a customer that knows they have a problem is by simply asking the qualifying question is, are you interested in the following? You know, you see it done in a variety of ways. Attention, ladies, have you ever thought about, and you just go down the symptoms, and then you hope at the end when you say, hey, would you like to do something about it? They say yes. So again, first thing off the top, you need people who are 75% closed. And that starts with you knowing whether or not this is somebody who knows they have a problem that you can solve and is willing to do something about it. Well, how do we know they're willing to do something about it? Well, I know you want to get your lawn cut, so have you thought about when? You know, is this something you're looking to do in the very near future? You know, is this something you're looking to get done today? See, the reason they're asking these questions is because you're trying to qualify if this is a good lead or not. So they know they got a problem. So when were you looking to start? Well, I was thinking maybe, first of the year. So now as a business owner, you know, okay, this probably isn't someone who's going to pay me by Friday. So now what do I need to do to make sure that they pay me in January? Well, if it was me and I wanted somebody who wanted to pay me in January to pay me at the end of September, beginning of October, what I would say is, well, I'll tell you what, we can start with this. And you give them a plan, you give them some prep work, and you give them a price that they can't refuse. If you wait till January, it's going to cost you this. But you can prepay, you can pre-register, you can RSVP. And if you RSVP, this is the price. If you pre-register, this is the price. If you pay now, here's what you're going to get between now and then. We're going to get your blood work done. We're going to get your weight and measurements. We're going to start creating your plan so that when January comes, we can hit the ground running. And if you offer them the prepaid deal, you get to see how serious they are. Because some people are going to push you off and use the excuse of time and not having time as the reason they can't do business right now. But if you give them an offer right now, then you'll judge and get to see how serious they really are, which again will keep you on track to reach your primary goal, which is staying in business. Because people who are jerking you around don't help you stay in business. People who are putting it off to another day don't help you stay in business. Am I right? Does it sound crazy to say that? That somebody who takes 14 phone calls and takes up valuable time that you could spend dealing with people who actually want to do business with you is keeping you from reaching your goals and ultimately putting you in a position where you may or may not lose your business. And it's not ridiculous for me to say that you don't want that. Okay, so we talked about knowing they have a problem. We talked about making sure that we ask, making sure that we're talking directly to them about when they're going to start. And if they start to push it out, then you offer them something that makes sense to them to save a little bit of money so that they don't push it out, or so that they prepay. So even if they push it out, you already got the money for it. But what you don't do is you don't try to wait until January and then circle back with them. Because it's not ridiculous for somebody to prepay for something, because people prepay for vacations all the time. Now we're just applying what they do for vacations to what you do as a business owner. And if what you do is valuable enough to them and the problem is a problem they really need to solve, that deal will help them. So we got need, that they know they got a problem, they know they want to solve it. Ideally, we want people who want to solve it today or in the next couple days. Because people want to solve it today or the next couple days. You don't have to negotiate with them. They say, where do I sign? And they get to it and do it. Isn't that what you like? Somebody who knew what they wanted, who made up their mind already, and just came in, signed on the dotted line, and got to work. That's ideally what you want. But you have to get through to those people. See, marketing doesn't get you sales. What gets you sales is actually getting to a point with a person who's ready to do business and giving them a way to do business with you. Giving them a reason to do business with you. Giving them an opportunity to do business with you. That doesn't happen from marketing. Okay. Marketing may prep them. It may put them on the path. But that path has you at the end of it. So they got to get to you. Or they got to get to your website. Or they got to get to whatever seminar, webinar that you're having so that you can then close them. Flyers don't close people. People close people. People who create websites that get you from click to close people. People who stand on stages and make an offer close people. So that's where we're at. We're at the point now where our number one priority is to keep the doors open, to keep payroll paid, to keep money in our pockets so that we can continue to be in business. Now, I'm going to give you one more, and then I'm going to go back to why it's so important to be in business. Okay, so the last thing is, have they allotted some money? Are they wanting a solution that costs money? They don't want some advice. They don't want to talk to you, and try to steal the answers in the form of a conversation. Girl, I just had a couple questions. I don't really need an appointment. Okay, well, you're going to ask me questions about stuff that I get paid to do. So you need an appointment. You call your friend that's a doctor for some medical advice. No, you need to book an appointment. So, number one, as a business owner, you got to be very judicious about the amount of information that you're giving out. Now, I don't have a problem giving people information. I give people information all the time. But I also let them know this isn't customized. This isn't me taking a look at your books. This isn't me taking a look at your marketing. This is just me saying, well, if it was me. Now, me saying if it was me does not always necessarily correlate to what I would do if it was you. So, when doing so, give the in general answer. If they need specific, customized answers, then they need to be booking appointments. They need to be cutting a check. Because the Bible says that the work is worthy of the hire. And it also says that I should not continue to cast my gifts in front of people who do not appreciate it. Casting my pearls in front of swine. So if they want that customized stuff, if they need you, like, well, what should I say right here? And you're a copywriter, I usually click the button on my website and get you some time and cut me a check. Because it's only fair and reasonable. Okay. Now, just answer me. Is it unreasonable for you to ask for money for something that is going to make people money? Something that is going to solve their problem. Something that is going to take away their pain. Something that you've gotten very good at, spent hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, and years perfecting and mastering to the point where somebody would call you and ask you in the first place. That unreasonable? No. If you call me and you got business questions, then you buy me lunch. That's just the truth. And I'm talking to my friends when I say this. Like, hey, well, you at least got to buy me some lunch if you want to take 35, 45 minutes of my time to talk about your business and then expect me to give you some input. Ideally, you need to book an appointment. But, again, until you start seeing yourself as worth it, until you start recognizing that your gift is valuable, until you start recognizing that people keep calling you and asking for these little nuggets and these little tidbits and these little gems because your nuggets, tidbits, and gems are worth money, you won't make any. Grandma, she said they won't buy the cow if you keep giving them the milk. Same thing applies to giving advice as a business owner. You need people who have decided that they want to spend some money with you. Why? Because your priority is to stay in business. And you can't stay in business giving all your good advice away for free. You can't stay in business letting your hero complex or your ego, and this is me yelling at me too, by the way, get in the way of you doing good business. You don't try to teach on the discovery call. You discover on the discovery call. You discover if they know they got a problem. You discover if they're ready to do something about it. You discover if they put together a budget. That's what you do on the discovery call. You don't try to teach them how to fix their business then. You don't try to teach them the thing that you sell them to do then. If you cater, you don't go giving cooking advice. You say, hey, how many people? When are you looking to have it? How much are you looking to spend? If I could get it done for this right here, how does that sound? Okay. Would you be willing to put down half today? You don't go giving them barbecue advice. You don't go giving them advice on centerpieces and stuff like that. No, you stick to your script. Which leads me to having a script in the first place. Every business owner should have a script, should have a checklist that they stay stuck on. Because if you don't, then your emotions get involved and you start running off into places you don't need to be in. Telling them stuff that you should really be holding on to until you fully realize if they are ready to do business with you. Somebody want to talk to you for an hour and a half about stuff that you get paid for. Well, I'm having some problems with my taxes. Okay, well, on Monday you need to book an appointment, come in, and let's talk about it. Tell me if I'm crazy about this, but it's kind of low-key disrespectful for you to think that I'm going to give you stuff that I get paid for free because we friends. Would a real friend do that? Would a real friend take food off your table, take time that you should be prospecting for customers, time that you should be following up with customers, time that you could be doing something to feed you and your family? Would a real friend take up that time and not pay you for it? And if you said yes, then you need to get you some new friends. That's simple. But I promised you a few minutes ago that we would talk about why staying in business is so important. The number one reason staying in business is so important is because now you get a track record. And if you get a track record, then people can look at the revenue that you've done over a period of time and decide if they want to give you a line of credit and how much that line of credit could be. So even if it's American Express, they're looking at your revenue. Okay. What have you generated? Which again is why your number one priority needs to be leads and sales, because that's what banks are going to look at. That's what retail lenders are going to look at. That's what angel investors are going to look at. They're going to look at your ability to pay them back their money with interest. Because the idea is I give you money, you give me my money back, plus some more. That way my money is working for me and I'm not working for me. If I am an angel investor and I got $50,000, I need to know that I'm going to get $55,000 back. How do I know? By looking at your ability to pay, by looking at your track record, by looking at your revenue. Because you think, okay, people want collateral. They don't necessarily want collateral because collateral doesn't make them any money. Your house doesn't make them any money. It makes them have to find someone to then sell your house. They took your house. They had to go through paperwork to take your house. They had to go put you out of your house. Then they had to find somebody to sell your house. And then they had to wait for the house to be sold before they could get their money back. The reason they want cash contributions, the reason they want real estate, the reason they want valuables is to hold you accountable. Not because they want your stuff. Now your cash, yeah, they'll take your cash. But that other stuff is just they know you love it enough to work hard enough to try to keep it. So again, number one priority needs to be staying in business. You stay in business by getting leads that are 75% closed and closing them. Yeah, because you don't have money until the money is in your account. Somebody promising to pay you and paying you is two different things. You want to take the same approach in business that you take in life. If somebody say, girl, I'm going to drop it off tomorrow, you don't count that money till she's standing there handing it to you and you are counting it. Same thing in business. A lot of us need to listen to our grandmothers and aunties and elders. Girl, can't count what you ain't got. Well, she said she was going to pay me back tomorrow. Okay. Is tomorrow here yet? You ever hear sound like Tevin Campbell talking about tomorrow will bring? Okay. You can only count what you got. And you stay in business by having it. So if you don't have it, you need to be working until it is gotten. Until it is in the account. Because you can't spend something that's not there. And you need to stay in business long enough to build up a good enough track record so that when you sit down with an investor, when you sit down with a retail lender, when you sit down, with private equity firm or whatever you do, that you can prove to these people beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a good investment. And your ability to show them that your business is consistently creating revenue and growing is the way you do it. Now, I know a lot of us want to put the cart before the horse. We want to go get some money and then prove that we can make money and pay it back. And there was a time when you just put in estimated income and they give you the loan. But today is not that day. Yesterday is not today. Now they want to actually see that you can do it. And the better you can do it, the more they're willing to give you. Why? Because they see how much you could pay back. They see how much more money can be generated. And they want to cut of the future money. So, again, we spent about 25 minutes on number one priority. Well, here's the second thing, because I promised you two. The second thing is knowing your worst nightmare. The two things that you need to worry about, the first one, was your number one priority. The second one was knowing your worst nightmare. Okay. What is your worst nightmare as a business owner? Not getting any sales for a long period of time and going out of business. Not being able to pay your bills. Getting sued. Getting scammed. Going to jail. Those are your nightmares as a business owner. Not being able to pay your people. Now you need to keep your mind on that stuff. Not let it overtake you, but you need to have a little moment every day where you remind yourself of what could happen if you don't do what you're supposed to do. If you don't keep the main thing the main thing. If you don't stay focused on keeping the lights on. If you don't stay focused on bringing new business in. If you don't stay focused on getting referrals. If you don't make sure that your people are doing what they're supposed to do. If you don't hold the people that you hired accountable. Here's what could happen. I could put myself in a position where my worst nightmare comes true. If you don't have a plan to get sales this holiday season, your worst nightmare could come true, which is not get any sales, and then we go into January and you in the hole. That's not unreasonable to think, right? Because either you plan to succeed or you plan to fail. So there is no plan. There is nothing that you get up each and every day doing to ensure that you are ahead of the game, that you're ahead of your nightmare. Your nightmare will eventually come and overtake you. If I'm lying, leave it in the comments. Again, what is your worst nightmare? If your worst nightmare is that you don't have any sales and this place is empty, okay, now you put together a plan that says, how do we never put ourselves in that position? You sit down with your people and you say, the one thing that we never want to happen is that this place is empty. Because if this place is empty, that means we're not making any money. That means I can't pay you. That means that the money I invested into this place is going to go up in smoke. That means the bank is going to come take my house. That means that I might actually have to go to jail. You hear the story about the gazelle and the lion. I think it's the gazelle and the lion. The lion is looking for the slowest gazelle, and the gazelle is looking for the slowest lion. Every day, that's how they wake up. They wake up knowing, hey man, I gotta stay out of the way of my nightmare. And whatever that nightmare is, you need to write it down as well. Things that I want, but also things that I don't want. I don't want to go out of business. I don't want to go another month without sales. I don't want to keep giving away all my profit margin just to get a customer. I don't want to keep paying people to work that don't do a good job and make me any money. Because see, when you get the I don't wants, it's a whole lot easier. Because you may not always know what you want. I sat down this morning and I meditated, and I kind of had a little bit of a block. I couldn't really see the bigger, better future. But you know what I could see? The things that I didn't want. The things that I didn't want were real clear. I don't want to keep having to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to keep being in risk of whatever the thing that I'm in the risk of by not doing what I'm supposed to do. For me, if I don't reach out to clients on a regular enough basis, I put myself in a position to let my family down. What do you put yourself in position to do if you don't reach out on a regular basis and close enough sales? Which again goes back to knowing your numbers. If your worst nightmare is that you don't have enough money for payroll, okay, well, what do I need to ensure that I always have enough money for payroll? Okay. I need to reach out to this many people, because I know if I reach out to this many people, let's just say it's 15. If I reach out to 15, I know I'm going to close 4. So if I get 4, I got payroll and rent covered. Bam, bam. Now, the next 2 sales I get, that goes to me. Boom, boom. Now we're at 6 out of 15. Now the next 2 sales go into the bank. Give me a little emergency fund. So I need to be going 8 out of 15, or I need to be reaching out to more people. And I need to check at the end of every day and see what I did. Did I move closer to making sure that my primary objective was met, or did my nightmare move one step closer to me? Because there's no world where you do nothing and get what you want. At least no world that I know of. There's no world where busy people just beat down your door. There's no world where people just pay you what you're worth. You get what you negotiate. And until you learn how to negotiate, you won't get what you're worth. It's that simple. People are not going to just give it to you, because that's just not how the world works. The CEO is looking for the best deal. The grandmother in the grocery store buying for her grandkids is looking for the best deal. But them looking for the best deal does not mean that you got to give away all your profits. You have to be able to negotiate. You have to be able to put things in a perspective that it becomes quite clear to the person sitting across from you that you're going to solve their problem and that they should give you the money to do it. Now a lot of times that's just creating value. For me, when I sit down with somebody, I'm like, okay, well, help me understand. It sounds like you want me to help you make somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 over the next 90 days. Okay. So I don't think I can do that, even though I feel like your offer is generous. I don't think I can do that for what you're offering. You want me to make you $200,000 with my unique gift and my lived and practiced and perfected experiences, knowing how to gather customers, close said customers, keep those customers buying from you longer, and to get referrals from them, which is ultimately going to result in you being able to pay your bills. And you only want to give me 5,000. You only want to give me 1,000. You only want to give me 500. Once you start understanding what it is that you're worth to the other person, then you'll better understand what to negotiate for. Especially if you're somebody who can deliver. If you're somebody who can actually help them meet their primary objective, and you can prove to them that you've helped people just like them reach their primary objective as well. You can prove that you've helped them lose weight. You can prove that you've improved their A1C. You can prove, that, you got rid of their weeds. You can prove that you helped their kid, get, great test scores. You can prove whatever it is you did, and you got people willing to vouch for you in the form of testimonials. Now you just got to stand firm and ask for your number. In order to ask for your number, you need to know your number. But it's easier when you know that you're good. So a lot of people have imposter syndrome. How do you overcome imposter syndrome? And I know at the end of this, I'm giving you a little bit extra, but I want you to know this, whoever I'm talking to right now. How do you get over imposter syndrome? By looking at the data. Okay. Again, look at the data. First thing you want to look at is what is actually happening in your particular industry. Like for me, 78% of small business owners make less than $50,000 a year. 86% make less than $100,000. Okay. 8 out of 10 small business owners do not have employees. They temp, they outsource, they get family members, they get friends, but they are primarily the person who is running their business. Okay, so 86% of those people are making less than $100,000. If you come along and you put them in a position to do better than 100, you're putting them in the top 14%. This is me talking to myself. Putting them in the top 14%. Okay, so if I just got them over $100,000, I'm putting them in the top 14%. In some cases, I've gotten them into the top 1%. Top 1%. I've helped people in some cases make half of what somebody makes in a year as a solopreneur, a freelancer, or a self-employed person with no employees in a weekend, by just teaching them how to close more of what it is that we bring in. I'm good at bringing it in, I'm good at writing it, and I'm good at helping them close it. So if you look at your own situation, you say, okay, well, not only am I good at what I do, there are not a lot of people who are good at what I do. When you look at macaroni from scratch, there ain't a lot of people. If it was, we wouldn't have box macaroni. You look at those cakes from scratch, there was a lot of people wouldn't have bakeries. They wouldn't need Entenmann's. They wouldn't need, box cakes if people could do it. So whatever it is, you figure out how many people actually can do it. Okay? This is the way this is the way I deal with clients. I literally look at what they do, and then I ask them, how many people in the world are there like you? One of my clients is a college president, 3-time college president. But she's also coached, developed, and trained 5 other college presidents. So, number one, how many college presidents do you really know? Seriously, how many do you come in contact with on a daily basis? Number two, how many people do you know that have trained and developed people who went on to be college presidents? Think about it. The person outside of you does not know enough about you to know your uniqueness. No. You know your uniqueness. You know your unique gift. You know what makes you special. They don't. All you need to do now is take that thing and look at the statistics. How many people are this good, have been this good for this long? Shout out to Jay-Z. Because when you look at it from that standpoint, now you realize you are worth a lot more than you really think. So, that's why they got you training your replacement. That's why they got you training supervisors. That's why they got you on all these calls and got you in all of these meetings that, quote unquote, have nothing to do with your title. Because you have a gift and they're just sucking and siphoning all of it away. That's why they keep asking you to bring the cake, Shirley. That's why they keep, literally, that's my neighbor, by the way, but I'm actually quoting Dion Cole. But anyway, again, that's why they keep asking. And if you're good at it, the Bible says the work is worthy of the hire. So if you think, well, I'm an imposter, because the devil keeps telling you that you're not good enough, because people who couldn't judge good or bad keep telling you you're not good enough. Stop listening to those people. Start looking at the impact you have on the people you are around. If they leave better than when they came, you're worth it. If what you told them worked, you're worth it. If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt them collard greens that you make some of the best collard greens people have ever had because they keep telling you that, you be the next Gloria. People are tasting and experiencing you, and they're telling you what your brand is. They're telling you if you got barbecue that is worthy of being sold. They're telling you if you got cakes and macaroni and cheese that's worthy to be being sold. They're telling you. So listen to the people who are experiencing you, not your friends, not your mama, not your cousin, not your granny, not your auntie, the people who are experiencing it. Let those people determine whether or not you're a godsend or not. Let those people determine whether or not you're special, that you're gifted, you're one of a kind, you're unique. Because those people, those are the ones that count. Your friends in some cases ain't never going to buy a book. They ain't never going to take a class. They ain't never going to use your meal plan. If they do, they're going to do it for a little while and quit. But that person who really trying to lose weight, to go back to our primary goal, that person who really trying to lose weight, they're going to rock with that meal plan. They're going to live by that meal plan. They're going to show up and do the work because they believe that you can help them. Your friends, not so much. Love your friends. Some cases might need to get some new friends. Might need to limit the time you spend around the friends you got. And those things are all acceptable, by the way. I love you, but I got a mission, I got a goal, and I got to get to it and do it. Because that's what I've been called to do. That's what I've been led to do. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's where my joy at, my peace at, my financial provision. That's where all of that is at. So sorry, my sister, I got no time for you today. Same thing for my men. Go be driven. It's okay to be obsessed. It's okay to focus on your bag. It's okay to say, yeah, when I got time, but right now I do not have time. It's okay to set a boundary. It's okay to say I can't come today. Because the reality is those same people who are trying to hold you back, hold you down, telling you that you're too obsessed, too driven, too busy, those are the same people going to be like, I knew my dog could do it. That's my dog. I knew he could do it. No, you didn't. You was trying to get me to go out and drink. You told me I was going to go broke if I put all my money into that. No, you told me Bitcoin wasn't nothing but a scam. Now, I'm not a proponent for anything, and I'm not against anything. I always say do your research. But with that being said, if you've done your research and you're comfortable with it and you trust and believe that, hey, I see how I can make this work, focus on that. You know, you don't have to date every woman that's attractive. You know, you don't. She could be attractive and you could say to yourself, I don't see us being together because these are my priorities right now. And once I get these things handled, then maybe I'll circle back. Or she doesn't align up with my priorities. You know, if I'm trying to lose weight and she trying to go to the Cheesecake Factory, don't go together. You know, if I'm trying to get money, she trying to spend money, don't go together. You know, if I'm trying to get to bed early so I can get up and get to it and do it, and she want cake on the phone all night, she ain't the one. You know, if the priorities are not lining up, if we don't make each other better, if the outcome that we create together does not help me reach my goals, then why am I doing it? Help me understand. Men, you are called to greatness. And what stops you from being great is chasing women who can't help you get there. Now, we go to the Bible. Look at that Bible. Samson, Delilah. We got way too many Delilahs and Jezebels keeping us from getting to where we're trying to go. You done grinded all week. You done got a bag. Now here comes some woman who ain't helped you get none of it. And you going to trick it off on her? You going to fly her out? Really? Surely there's some unattractive women who can help you grow your business. You know, they're always talking about, I want somebody I can build with. Okay, well, put your money where your mouth is. Get them gloves and get to scrubbing. Put some money where your mouth is. Start editing that content. Put your money where your mouth is. Help me clean out some of these apartments. Because there are women that you see out there actively participating in their own growth and the growth of their relationships. And those are the ones you need to be looking for. You know, when you go by and you see her on the stand-up riding lawnmower and her guy with the weed whacker, oh, they working together. You know, she working on the flowers, he cutting the grass. Oh, they working together. You know, you go by and you see her with the mop bucket or the paint bucket. Oh, they working together. Oh, that's a team. They agreed. You know, but what you don't want is somebody who's only taking from you and never giving. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, your love language might be words of affirmation, and somebody who's positive and encouraging might be a motivator for you. Somebody who believes in you and thinks that you are capable of doing whatever it is you're capable of doing. Yeah, that person right there, that person might be the one for you. But even that person still has to put some action with their affirmations. You know, maybe they need to get up a little bit earlier than you and get the coffee going. You know, maybe they need to make sure the place is tidy and neat so that you can come right in and get to work after work. You know, got your workspace clean for you. Left your little note and some candy. You know, got your little cooler and put some bottles of water in it to keep them cold. Went out and got you one of them things to keep the water cold all day. You know, helping you reach your goal. And ladies, same thing goes for you. You know, we talk about being catered to and cared for, but is what we're doing for you helping you reach your goal? That's a real question. And if you don't know what your goals are, or you don't know what your primary mission is and your primary objectives are, then you need to sit down and figure them out so that you can then put yourself in the room with people who align with that. Because people will say they did stuff all day. Well, you know, I did this and I did that. But none of those things were things that I needed you to do. You could have made me peanut butter cookies, but I'm allergic to peanuts. You know, that's simple. You know, align with people who help you reach your goals, not people who take away from it, not people who don't remind you of your greatness, not people who are always looking at the things you're not doing. You know, the people who are calling your stuff little, instead of saying, okay, this is just year one. Okay, We just got to stay focused on our primary goal and run as hard as we can and stay away from our worst nightmares. You know, somebody who is genuinely concerned and inserting themselves where you need them to be without you having to ask them, because they just believe in you that much. You know, whether it's with their money, whether it's with their time, you know, whether it's with their experience, whether it's with their relationships. You know, those people, them the ones you look at, them the ones you consider, them the ones you slow down and really assess whether or not there's a possibility for growth. Because the two of us together should do 10,000. Because I was doing 1,000 without you. But if I get with you and I stop doing 1,000, I'm only doing 500. Was that the right thing for me to do? And if you realize you've done the wrong thing, man, reverse out of it as soon as possible. Be very honest and transparent about it, so that the other person fully understands that, hey, it is not you, it is me. It is me having goals, priorities, needs, and wants that you are not in alignment with. Not that I don't love you. This ain't against you. This is for me. So I got to get to it and do it. Didn't know I was going there today, but hey, man, this is where I went. It is successful marketing, sales, and relationships. So that shouldn't be a surprise to you that occasionally we talk about alignment and being around people who can actually help us move forward. Because that's what you need as a business owner. You need a village of people. You need a support system. You need people who can give you good sound advice. You need people who know how to stay out of your way. You need people who occasionally who are going to call you to the carpet and say, how many people did you reach out today? How well did it go? How close are you to your goal? What are you doing to get to your goal? Is it working? Okay. And what do you need me to do? How can I be of service to you? That's what you need around you. But until next time, man, this has been your business, big bro. A.K.A. the most dangerous man in marketing. A.K.A. Mr. Better Than Your 401k best-selling author, Sadon Long. I love you. We're 92 days closer to Christmas than we were yesterday. So until we meet again, remember, stay focused on your primary goal. Number one. And number two, know what your worst nightmare is. And do everything you can to make sure that nightmare does not come true. Or in the words of Jay-Z, make sure the unnecessary does not occur. Have a great day, man. I'm out.